to show you how to make some inexpensive platforms. They're great to use in Smart Dog Games activities, and they're also helpful in teaching some healing skills and shadow skills. So what I start with is a piece of rigid foam insulation. How I got this very inexpensively was I posted it in my local Yahoo group. You could also post it on a local Facebook group if you have one. And I just asked if anybody had any scrap rigid foam insulation. Often people who've done a home improvement project or construction people have scraps of it laying around. And I just said that I need the thicker stuff, and I said that I needed at least 2.5 foot long pieces. So the piece I'm using, because it was nicely scored at this width, so I thought, okay, I'll just go with that, these are 32 inches long by 12 inches wide. And I just like my platforms to be at least comfortable enough for a dog to stand on with 4 legs and not having to be squished in any direction. So I find this is a pretty good width, but it's not a required size. The other thing I use is a inexpensive yoga mat. You can find these at like dollar type stores, TJ Maxx type stores, etc. And I paid $10 for this roll, and this will make 2 complete platforms. The other thing I use is this is actually Gorilla Tape, but duct tape type of tape. So I've got my platform into the right size, and I'm gonna open my yoga mat. Maybe. There you go. Open my yoga mat. And instead of measuring my yoga mat, because sometimes when I snap this or cut this, it's not exactly square, what I do is I lay it on my yoga mat, and sorry, need a marker. And then I take my marker and I just outline it. And then to make sure the other one is accurate, this one will be the top, one of them will be the bottom. I flip it over, line it up with that, make sure I have enough that I've got edges and everything. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of the nice things about this project. And draw that. Quickly cut them down. And these are kind of nice because the yoga mats actually have, at least these, have sort of little ribs. So it makes it really easy to cut fairly straight. That's cut. By the way, the foam cuts really easily with like a utility knife and a straight edge. And if you cut it once fairly deep, you can then snap it by bending it and it'll break. You'll just want to clean up the edges if there's any pieces sticking out, which sometimes there is. All right, it's laid on there. Next step is to get a piece of tape, and I overlap the edge just a little bit. Let it hang off just a little bit. And I've gone, I don't know, maybe a half an inch on there. I want quite a bit of yoga tape, quite a bit of tape hanging off. So I press that down nicely. Then I start in the middle, press this over the edge, work my way out. That helps keep from getting any bubbles and creases. Press it down nicely. And I like doing the 2 ends first. And I'll tell you why as we go. It kind of helps keep any bubbles or this from being puffed up in the middle. So kind of stretch it out, and I hold it with my elbow. Again, do the same thing I did on the other side. And cut it. All right, I kind of pull it a little bit just to make sure it's flat. Press down in the middle. Work your way out to the side. Same thing, but I'm doing the long end and overlap it a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. Now to clean up the corners, I cut a little piece. I don't know, it's maybe a couple of inches. And I just put this over the corners. This helps with any exposed adhesive that might have been there on the edges of the tape from collecting a whole bunch of dog hair. And then when I'm finished, I make sure I press everything down really good. Sometimes they get a little air in them. Just pushing it down will help usually get all the air out. And I just really make sure I get everything pressed on that really good. One thing that's kind of important about these is if you leave them in a hot space, like if you leave them in your car in the sun, this adhesive will get kind of soft and gooey, so I try not to do that. I mean, it'll dry and harden back up, but initially. And there is one platform for probably $11 when I figure in the cost of the tape. Hope that helps you.